Well, I've been very fortunate in my life to be around great coaches, great teammates throughout my my basketball career. Starting as a high school player, my dad was probably my greatest influence growing up. Coached me in Little League baseball, and didn't really coach me in basketball, but had a big influence on my life. Obviously, Ted Owens recruited me to the University of Kansas. Played 2 years for him, 2 years for Larry Brown. Larry Brown's probably the biggest influence from a basketball standpoint. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Coach Brown always taught me that if your teams do two things on a consistent basis, that is that they guard and they rebound the ball consistently, you're going to give yourself a chance, your team a chance to win every game.
NCAA basketball has been mired in controversy this season after cases of academic fraud at the University of North Carolina and an FBI investigation into illegal recruiting practices. Tad Boyle has been outspoken and at times critical of the NCAA's handling of these issues. Adding another NCAA forced Evan Batty into an academic redshirt after having to repeat ninth grade.
Yeah, look, the NCAA's got a difficult job, and I've been critical on certainly one of our cases here that just was announced with Evan Batty. I was very critical there. I'm a little concerned how this FBI investigation is being handled, and I know the NCAA can't really do anything until the FBI is done with their investigation, but NCAA's got a tough job. I've got a tough job. We all have tough jobs. You do the best you can. And
there are a lot of schools that came out that they're paying players hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you've talked about running a pretty clean program. So how are you able to compete with schools that are paying these hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of getting good players and still get some of the best players into this program?
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, when you feel like you're following the rules and certainly the spirit and the intent of the rules, and your competitors are not, you're at a distinct competitive disadvantage. I mean, that's the fact. But I like to sleep good at night. I like to put in a good day's work, an honest day's work. That's how I was raised. That's what I've tried to do. That's what I'm going to continue to do. And if other people aren't doing that, I don't have a lot of control. That's why we have enforcement. That's why we have rules. That's why we have probation. That's why we have postseason bans. That's why we have ineligible players. There's a lot of things at the disposal of the NCAA. The question is, are those things going to be imposed or not? And I think the jury's out on that.
So you talked about earlier on putting a kind of focus on defense and rebounding, that sort of thing. So when you get to a new school, is it hard to get players to buy into that?
It is. I remember when I came to the University of Colorado 8 years ago, we had arguably our most talented offensive team we've ever had. Alec Burks, Corey Higgins, Marcus Relford. That was a team that scored a lot of points, could score in bunches. Levi Knutson was a great three-point shooter. I couldn't get that team to guard and to rebound at the level that we needed to, especially early in the season, and it cost us an NCAA tournament bid. You know, the next year, we beat an Arizona team in the championship without scoring a field goal for 7.5 minutes. It wasn't a thing of beauty, obviously. We made some free throws down the stretch, but we didn't make any baskets. We won that game because we guarded, and when we weren't scoring, we didn't let Arizona score, and we won a championship because of it. So just in 1 year, you got one team that doesn't quite buy into the defense and rebounding, and we come up a little bit short of the NCAA tournament. And the next year, we win a Pac-12 championship because that team did buy into it.
This season presents a new challenge for Tad Boyle and the Colorado coaching staff, as they have a team with 9 players who have never played college basketball before, including 8 freshmen, 1 redshirted, and 1 walk-on.
Oh, this is a whole new team. I'm looking at this as year one. Like, I'm pretending in my mind that this is year one of my job here at Colorado. Now, we do have 4 seniors that have been here. George King's been here 5 years. So we have some familiarity with our program, but we have so many new faces. So it's really baby steps, day after day, trying to get better, build habits, understand what our standards are. live up to those standards every day and compete our tails off.
So I want to end my final question with, what is the most rewarding part of your job?
You know, I mentioned it earlier. The most rewarding part of my job is when former players will call or email or write or text and connect, and you get to see what they're doing in their lives today, the successes that they've had as a result, hopefully, of some of the things that they learned while they played for you. And when they're successful, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you've been a small part of that.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You got it, man.